All right, it is that time again for our little roundup of some recent updates within Sudowrite. Before we dive into the Sudowrite features, I want to talk about two new class sessions. So, the Dark and Taboo, which is normally every other Sunday morning, in February, it will be in the evening time to allow people in other countries or people that just can't make those morning sessions for whatever reason to attend. So, Dark and Taboo in February will be in the evening time. I haven't decided yet if I will still do the morning as well, but for sure it'll be there for the evenings. We will also have a new class series coming up. For anybody who has attended Tabby's classes before, she and I will be co hosting a series of classes, and each one will go in depth, covering one particular thing where we can cover a mix of AI tips and writing craft with a focus on one subject, like let's say character dialogue, or focusing on your character descriptions, or fixing your outline box. So look for those coming soon. I believe we will probably get them up in time for February. But those will be called AI and the Author, and they will be a series of classes called Fix My, and then whatever topic we're covering. And again, those will just be very in-depth classes focusing on one particular thing. All right, let's dive in. So by now, you should be switched over to credits. If you aren't, email hi@sudowrite.com. They can get you switched over. You could also click the Manage Membership area. And if you're not switched over, you should be able to activate your new plan immediately. So everybody is switched over to credits. And that, of course, allowed the release of plugins and all the new models that we're doing. So you'll see here, it has it just like it used to do for Word, and you can hover over to see when your credits expire. If you are on the Max plan or the Max Legacy plan, your credits roll over for 12 months. So they're not going to expire. You can still buy the packs, formerly Word packs, now credit packs. You can still buy those and they do not expire at all. So Max plan and Max Legacy plan have regular rollover for the subscription, monthly subscription credits. There's a new thing for a recent activity. So you can click that here and you can see any new additions or subtractions for your credits. So you see here, I have a bunch of additions here because my stuff recently rolled over. Now, if I were to use Story Bible, the features there, and start generating in the boxes, or if I use these lasering tools right here, it would break it down for me. Describe, use so many credits. Brainstorm, use so many credits. Things like that. So again, that's the recent activity. You can hide it and show it. All right, so let's dive into the newest features. And I'm going to go into Story Bible real quick because it's a couple there. So if you've been in my classes before, you know, synopsis used to only pull from brain dump. It didn't check out your genre or anything like that. That's why I used to always tell people, put your genre and elements that you want, like style and tone, in your brain dump, because synopsis does not see that information. Well, Ryan Mather fixed that. So synopsis now pulls from your genre. So I think that is going to be helpful. I still recommend putting stuff inside the brain dump. You know, if you don't want that dark and gritty tone, if you want that tragic ending, put little things like that just to help reinforce or put some style element in there, since it still doesn't pull from style, which isn't a big deal. That's not really needed for the synopsis when you can just put the little phrasing in there. So synopsis does now look at genre. The character box, if you've been in my classes, again, you know, I like to have my character box formatted a very specific way, and it gets very lengthy. I was running into this issue of it would stop where it would still have some words left up here, but it would stop mid-sentence. They fixed that. So you should no longer see that problem. If it is stopping on generating for you and you still have room up here, let them know. You can use the report a bug feature or go into Discord and let us know. An upcoming thing that we do not have a timeline on yet is you will no longer have to worry about this word limit for characters. Let me rephrase that. They have mentioned possibly having an unlimited box. I don't know if that is the end goal or, if something's going to happen and they just can greatly improve it, but still need to give us a limit. So, in the recent little Zoom meeting that the Sudowrite staff put on, they asked people for feedback. People shared how they work their characters, how they like their characters to look. So they listened to everybody so they could take all of that into account and create the best version of the character box that works for the majority of their users. So it should be very customizable. That's what they're hoping to achieve. So whereas I like my character box formatted a certain way, I like a whole bunch of attributes added, including the line of dialogue that my character speaks. Others might not want that. So of course, Sudowrite wouldn't enforce, hey, we're just going to make everybody's character box look like Nicole's. They want it to be very customizable. They also want it to be pretty easy for people to add or say, I don't want these attributes. This is still a work in progress, but coming soon, a bigger character box. All right, so let's look at the other ones. So I'm just going to scroll up to the top here for Sudowrite proper. So I've shown you the credits. I've shown you the story Bible changes. Now we have a few write feature changes. If you like to use auto write or guided write, you'll recall we used to have at least 20 words here in this box typed out before we could even use this menu. Well, we asked them to at least change it to where we could access the menu without needing that minimum word count. So they went a step further. Now you don't need words at all in this box. If you just want to start using auto write and guided write, you can do that right away. Now you do not need any words in this box at all. If you go to the write settings right here, you will see you should have all of these models. Again, this is one of the features of switching us to credit system. Now, whenever you use auto write or guided write, you can pick from these models to use that. Coming soon, you will be able to do, sorry, I said soon. I don't want to put that kind of time pressure on Sudowrite. I have no idea when the time will come, but in the future, we will be able to pick and choose what model each of our laser tools use. So if you want Rewrite to use S Pros for whatever reason, you can do that. I, for one, am looking forward to hopefully having Erebors connected to the Describe because I think it's going to do a wonderful job of that. So you can pick the model right now for auto write and guided write. In the future, you will be able to pick them for these features, up to 6 cards. And now you can choose up to 500 words. So 250 used to be the max. You can now pick the card to output at 500 words. Another thing that was highly requested, and it was recently voted on, I think it was like the top most requested thing in Friday's Fix It poll, and that was connecting our tools to Story Bible. So now auto write and guided write looks at Story Bible information. It looks at your chapter that's linked. So if you have a chapter up here, we're in chapter 7 linked, and this is chapter 7's prose and the beat box and stuff like that. Auto write and guided write will be looking while they're in this document at that stuff, that chapter that is linked. It also looks at genre, style, and the characters. Now, your characters do need to be referenced within this document. So this is going to be great for those of us who love to use the auto write and guided write and just really start typing out our story, how we see it playing out, and then getting the AI's assistance when we need it. Yet it will have that much needed story Bible information, the characters, the genre, and style to keep things more in line. So auto and guided write now look at story Bible information, which includes the current chapter linked in the outline, genre, style, and characters. I believe that is it, y'all. There is much more to come. If you're not in the Discord, they have been doing Fix It Friday polls. So Michael will put up a poll right here for you to vote on. These are things they feel they can get taken care of in a day. So you'll see down here, you just pick the number for the emoji, vote on it, and the top votes, of course, get worked on first and take priority. So be sure you are in the Discord. I do have the link in the description. The Discord is also where you can find our course videos channel over here, so you can see all of our past recordings. So it's a great place to see the recordings, talk with the community, have fun engaging with other Sudowrite users, and learn a ton of tips and tricks. All right. Thank y'all very much for watching. I hope you're excited about the new features like I am, and I will see you in the Sudowrite community. Bye, everyone.